Hey, everybody. If you just now popping in, welcome to Pretty Problem Podcast. This is my debate style podcast where we discuss thought provoking topics in the debate style format. Each and every Sunday at 1 p.m. We have this space. It is a safe space for everybody involved. All we ask is that if you are someone who cannot handle feedback, that you don't provide yours, as any opinions expressed in this space are up for debate. Today's topic is corporal punishment, but not in the sense of your children. Because I know a lot of people are thinking that when they see that, they think about like you spanking your actual children. But how corporal punishment shaped you into who you are today, and if it has any impact on your decision making skills right now as an adult. So I do have some questions for throughout the debate for anybody that gets in the box. If you have an opinion that you'd like to express, the debate box is set for 2 minutes for each person to express their opinion on the topic or any of the opinions that have been expressed about the topic. Now, if you are someone who cannot handle feedback and you cannot have a polite discussion, my beautiful people dressed in red will escort you to another live till another occasion. All we ask is that you be as free and open with us as we are going to be with you, and that we all have a good time. So if you're just now popping in, welcome to Pretty Problem Podcast again. You calling like I need you. Look at my peoples. That reminds me. Thank you, Coco, for writing something. All right, y'all. So, corporal punishment. We are talking about, when we talk about corporal punishment, what does that mean? So, corporal punishment is any form of physical discipline between an authoritarian and someone who is a subordinate. So that could be parent and child, that could be employer and employee, that could even be recruit and recruiter if you are in the military or anything like that. So when we talk about corporal punishment, a lot of the thing that always comes up is spanking your children. Um, so we definitely are going to talk about that now. My friend Kasai is in the comments. Y'all can see. Her name is Blue right now. She did a thesis, she said, on corporal punishment. So she'll have a lot of input from the comments as well, because she has a little bit more information based off of her having written that paper. But what she said was, growing up in a Caribbean household, I thought lick you can feel was normal, but it did cripple me emotionally. I also want to say I do think that there's a correlation between receiving punishment, receiving corporal punishment, and how you view exchanging blows in a relationship, right? Like a lot of people who grew up in households where there were spankings or where they were punished physically whenever they made a mistake are prone to being in situations where they are also physically abusive or physically abused, because they're used to that as a form of aversion therapy, right? So if you have an opinion on the topic of corporal punishment, or if you want to share your story, if you are someone, first let's set a baseline. How many people in here got whoopings as children? We gonna go somewhere. Me, me. I was a good child. Period. Tata. Definitely for a bit. Okay, often. Everybody. I hope laughing but very serious. I actually did not get whoopings for a very long. I still get whoopings. Oh, okay, I know that's right, 30. So I stopped getting whoopings at probably about 7 years old. Um, and my parents figured out pretty early on that I was not the type of kid that reacted well to getting spanked. Because if I got a whooping, whatever I got a whooping for, I was gonna do it way worse the next time, since I knew I was gonna get my butt whooped. My parents figured out what I needed to keep me from doing stuff was to take my things. I'm very attached to my things. So I could get over a whooping, because, like, you know what I'm saying, you gonna spank me. That it's probably gonna hurt for about 20-30 minutes. I'm gonna go take a nap, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna be good. But if I can't watch TV for the next 2 weeks, Whatever I did to make it that I can't watch TV for 2 weeks, I'm never doing that shit again. Because going 2 weeks without watching TV as a kid was terrible. Everybody at school talking about stuff I don't know what they talk about because I ain't been able to watch TV. And I was a kid that had I was a TV, video games, and comic books kid. So my mom would take when my mom took my Game Boy, my life was over. Okay, I beg, borrow, and steal to get that Game Boy back. Okay, please, mama, please, I do anything, please. And then my mom wasn't one of those parents that like took your things, physically took them. She said you couldn't use it, and she would leave it in front of you and dare you to touch it. So like my Game Boy, it wasn't like my Game Boy was in her room. My Game Boy was on my dresser. On my dresser in my room, and she wasn't even at home most of the time, and I still wouldn't turn that motherfucker on. Cause I didn't want the smoke. I didn't want whatever my mama had for me. Hey, Scraw. Yes, I remember my mom put me on punishment for 2 years. One time, took everything out of my room minus my bed and table to write on. Years later in jail, I was cool. Like I'm used to this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it didn't work for me. But I also, on the reverse of that, I have a cousin. I have a bunch of cousins actually. And one of my cousins, her mom only ever whooped them. My mom did element of surprise. I never knew when I was gonna get a whooping. Had me paranoid, trying to keep the game system but taking the TV. See, those punishments were effective though, right? Like because I had cousins that got whoopings. I got cousins that got my aunt's first reaction, initial reaction was to swing. And I mean, like at a certain age, they kind of got to a certain age where they were like, you got to square up with me now. Hey, Mickey, you got to square up with me now. So now your mama standing you in a room or standing you up somewhere, and she want to fight, but you can't actually punch her back. So it's really her just punching on you. Hello, Moon. What you got to say about the topic?
Good evening from Africa.
I'm sorry.
Good evening from Africa.
Good evening. Do you have something to say about the topic, sweetheart?
Oh, you guys are talking about topics and just passing by, just want to say hello.
Okay. Well, right now the date box for this particular event is for people who are engaging in the conversation. So once again, if you just now popping in, welcome to Pretty Problem Podcast. I am your friendly neighborhood homegirl, Princess Tia, and this is my debate style podcast where we discuss thought-provoking topics in a debate style format. Today's topic is corporal punishment, but not the traditional sense. We're not talking about you spanking your kids, but we are talking about how corporal punishment shaped you as who you are today, and if you still use it in your regular life today. So if you have an opinion on the topic or any of the opinions that have been expressed, please feel free to request a date box. It is set for 2 minutes for each person to be able to express their opinion on the topic or any of the opinions expressed on the topic. I want to scroll back up in the comments and just read some of these comments for y'all. So what did they say? What did they say? Man, it still said, I knew when mine was coming because I did what I was accused of. Ooh, accountability. Then I have two brothers, so we all got it most of the time. Next. Okay, that's actually the next thing I want to talk about, Mr. October. Those group whoopings. We got our own switch, so it was safe to say I tried not getting in trouble. So my granny was one of those people that if she sent you to go get your own switch and you came back with a little branch, she was gonna go get the biggest branch and she was gonna whoop you with the little one and the big one because you tried to play with her. My mom would give me licks and tell me how disappointed she is in me. In my opinion, that hurt way more than the licks. Oh yeah. It's to fix your face after being brutally assaulted. Or worse, you better not put the people in my business. Like, no, you just committed a crime. You know you committed a crime.
What up? What up?
What's up, Tyree? You have something to say about the topic?
What is the topic? I just came
Corporal
in.
punishment. How getting spanking shaped you into the adult that you are today.
Shit, I gotta say, definitely good because shit. I mean, if you don't if you don't discipline your kids, shit, the streets gonna discipline them, and shit, it might be. It's not so. It's just all bad.
Okay, so did you get spankings as a child?
Yup.
Have you ever been incarcerated?
Yup.
Have you ever? Do you have any children?
Mm.
No, you're not a parent yet.
Mm.
Okay. Do you feel like getting spankings assisted you into becoming the adult that you are today, or did it hinder you from being who you could have been?
Um. That I mean, shit. It didn't affect because I still did what I wanted to do regardless.
So the discipline didn't work. You weren't
Nah.
actually disciplined.
Mm.
So now, how can you say that if you don't, I'm sorry, discipline your children that the streets will, and you received discipline and it didn't change you, and you still were disciplined by the streets? So what impact did it really
Because
have?
because you don't keep no, if you don't show no boundaries, then if you don't show no boundaries, if you don't show no boundaries, then the streets will show boundaries, and the streets gonna show boundaries where you that might kill you.
Were you a good child in school?
You said what? Well, I
Were
could
you
try to
good
trip.
in?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I really was. The streets
Okay.
turned me out. The streets turned me out.
Okay, so you got bad after you got stopped being able to get whoopings. Hey, Mr. Man Steel, what you got for us?
Look, man, I'm not a novice when it comes to those whoopings. I mean,
Okay, so
because,
did you get spankings as a child? You said yes already, right?
yeah, yeah.
Do
But
you
I
think that
mean,
it shaped you into the adult that you are today?
well, yeah, especially as a boy, because when you start getting them boosts of testosterone as you get older, you don't know what to do with it. And pain, a lot of times, is a reminder of what not to do. Now, it is case scenario. Like my daughters, I never had to spank my daughters, you know, since they were really little, like pluck their fingers, don't touch the socket, stuff like that. But I never had to spank my daughters. But being the oldest grandchild, I got whoopings for everybody else because they're like, why you let them do it? Or, and I'm
Mm.
the oldest son or the oldest child. There's 10 years in between all of us. I'm 20 years older than my baby sister,
Mm.
so it's a little different for me, but yeah, I deserve all the ones I got. It's not one whooping that I got that it was a false accusation, not one of them. And it got
Dang, so you
worse
didn't
when
get
I
no,
started
you
playing
ain't get no
sports.
accidental whoopings.
Nah, not all mine was deserved because then when you start playing sports, I was boxing, playing football, basketball, you start getting strong. My mother's only 5 feet, so you're fighting, you're doing all this stuff, yeah, yeah. All mine was well deserved. According to her, I
So
didn't get as many as I should have.
did you grow up in a two-parent household or a single-parent household?
Well, not with my father, but with my stepfather. He's been around since I was like kindergarten.
Okay. So when you got into those situations, did you get a spanking from both your parents or just your mom? Or just your
Nah,
dad? Your stepdad?
my mother, she wore the championship belt. Not,
Not the championships belt.
Yeah, he said the championship belt.
Okay, so I meant to ask you that as well. Did you grow up in a two-parent household or were you a single-parent household?
Nah, single parent.
Okay. Do you think that the discipline that you received from the single-parent household was it necessary to have another force there for you? Do you think you would be a different person if there were two people there? If you knew you can get two whoopings for one action, would it have made you think about things a little bit more or a little bit less?
You talking about like my dad being there? Like if my dad was there, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm real bad. So it wasn't like I even tried to fight my dad. He was in and out. So he tried to got fought. So like, you know what I'm saying? A kid gonna do what he wanna do regardless, you know what I'm saying? But you like whoopings, it definitely setting some type of boundaries. Cause if you don't, then the streets is gonna be like, that's my personal opinion. The streets is gonna be, nigga, well, you disrespectful, we gonna kill you.
And I think as a child, right? Because I didn't get whoopings, my grandparents used to push that narrative to my mama a lot. Like if you don't beat your kids, somebody else gonna beat your kids, and they don't love your kids like you love your kids. And I'm
Maybe,
like,
yeah, not beating your kids, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? But setting some type of, you know what I'm saying? Discipline, whoopings for sure. You know, like whoopings, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know when you're doing too much.
yeah, that's true. You do know when you push the boundary, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, my uncle stayed with us. So after 10 years of beatings, my mom got tired and started letting my uncle tap the dad. Listen, so my mom's family, when my cousin got to be taller than my aunt, who was his mom, who was a single mom, it was time my cousin got passed to my granddad and my uncles. So they would party my cousin whenever he got to acting too crazy. Like and then parents would do this thing where like they'll whoop you and you like say you snatch away from the belt. They calling everybody in the family to tell them that you hit them because you snatched away from the belt. And now everybody want to jump you. Nikki!
What's up, beautiful? What's up? So this is a very good conversation. I did not get spankings as a child. Probably maybe plucks or something like that, but I did not get in trouble like that. But I do have 4 children of my own, and I have used various discipline tactics with each one of them, including spankings. And it just honestly, for me, seems like it depends on the child, what sort of discipline they need. I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and I definitely know that as the boys get to be a certain age, there is that pushback. There is this like little type of bravado that happens. And so even if it's not a spanking, it might be another like, who are you raising up against? Like it's all these other things that kind of happen. So I think what has happened is that sometimes we've gone too far to an extreme in how we talk about corporal punishment. You definitely shouldn't abuse and beat children, right? But every spanking is not abuse. Right. A spanking is not abuse, right? Like every form of corporal punishment may not be abuse. And so we have to start as humans like using discernment again. We just like to throw labels on things and be like, and if you're an advocate who you're like, I am a nonviolent parent, that's fine for you. That works for you. And that's great. And that's wonderful. There are some children, and out of my 4, I can tell you, they're all so different. One kid I could yell at, they're going to cry. The other one is like going to yell back at me.
Yeah.
And throw over the bookshelf.
And probably fight one of the other kids for being right there while you yelled at them. Because why would you sit here and let my mama yell at me? Yeah, it's and that's the thing. Like I was explaining about my cousin. My cousins got whoopings and like real whoopings, like, and they got whoopings for everything. So I assumed when we became adults that they were going to be the most well-behaved people. Both of them have been to prison. I've never been to prison, and I was the one that didn't get whoopings. I've never even really been arrested. What's up, Uncle? What's going on, brother?
Listen, when I tell you, as a kid, I got so many whoopings because I was a middle child. It didn't care if my older sister did something, my younger brother did something. It was always my fault somehow in it too. So I got constant whippings. So I'm saying 0% of that is my fault.
I respect your 0%.
But no, I deserve the whippings that I got when I knew I did something wrong, and it did alter and change me slightly, but it didn't really change me until it got to the point that I got older. And they said, "Oh no, you too big for whoopings now." I said, "Cool." I thought I was off the hook. Hell nah. I got bad my last year right before I turned 13. They shipped my ass off to the fucking farm that we owned at the time, and from sun up to sundown, my ass was working. And never in my life did I want a whooping instead of that fucking farm life, because that farm life ain't no joke, having to do all that manual labor. Listen, that altered and changed me, because after doing that for 2 summers in a row and losing my summers with my friends and stuff, I decided like it's not worth it. It's not worth it to get in trouble like that. I got a lot more quiet. I respected my elders a lot more, and there was a whole bunch of talk back. End it. So I don't spank my children personally. I did when they were like maybe like 1 or 2, like a little pat real quick, like, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't mess with that. But once they got to of age, it's literally I can look at them and make them cry. Like it's a dad mode. And I think there's a difference between dad mode and mom mode. Mom can do everything in the world that she wants to, but let dad slide up in that room and give you that look. It's a wrap.
Because a whooping from my mama did not hurt as much as my daddy saying, "I'm disappointed in you." Daddy, really? Yes, I'm very disappointed in you. Because why would you? I'm about to slip my wrist. My daddy disappointed in me.
Yikes.
What? Yeah,
Yikes.
no. I could not live with upsetting my father. My dad is like one of my best friends. My dad is my favorite person in the world.
My dad
Stay.
rarely actually whooped my like me and that nigga boxed. He rarely actually whooped me. Like we would box and shit like that. Like we would wrestle and shit. Like my mom, she would goddamn, she would whoop me until I got big enough to where she was like, all right, well these belts ain't doing shit for you. Cause she would be doing the same things. Fix your face and I smile just like that at her ass. And she was mad as hell. She'd go grab a bat. She's like, I'm gonna fix that face for you. Like, god damn, lady, you a little violent. You a little violent. But now, I remember this one time. I wanted to tell y'all this kind of funny. I remember this one time. I was like maybe 8 or 9, and I'm laying in my bed, knocked out in the middle of the night. Next thing I know, boom, the lights hit. Next thing I know, boom, wabba, wabba. I'm like, oh my God, it's the rapture. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Come to find out, my sister had did something in the middle of the night, and my mom caught her and she took off running through the house, goddamn it, and she ran into my room and hid behind me. And my sister was tiny. She bigger now. You feel what I'm saying? She done grew into herself now, but she was tiny. I'm talking about she was like two toothpicks put together. So she was hiding behind me. She didn't get not a lick of whooping that night. I got my ass told the fuck up for sleeping while black. I was mad as hell.
Not you, Rodney King.
That's basically all I did, bro. I went to sleep. And then she gonna see me the next day. She gonna talk about, you know what? You shouldn't have been that big. I was trying to hit her all them times. But then, nigga, stop it. Remove her and whip her.
Why not whip the cover off and just swing on the person that you see under the cover? You know what?
Right. Don't swing on the person that's screaming in pain and ain't did shit but sleeping while black.
So boom, my parents only had 3 kids, and they definitely tried to do that whole like line everybody up and give everybody a whooping until somebody told, but it was only 3 of us, so there wasn't a long line. So when my mama hit to avoid my whooping, when my mama hit the first hit my sister got, I started screaming. I'm talking, don't hit my sister. What? When she moved on to my brother, by the time she got to my brother, I'm full blown, passed out, hyperventilating.
See, I'm the oldest, so I broke my mother in. By the time my little sister came, she was like, nothing bothered her because I put her through it. So half time she didn't know where I was. I come home with a trophy. She's like, "Where's that from?" I was like, "Yeah, I was playing basketball in this tournament." When? Where? Like she was working 2 jobs trying to take care of us. She didn't. I'm everywhere. But I deserve all the ones that I got. The difference is, you got to know the child. Like whatever you force to be a sacrifice that you know that would actually be effective, that's what it should be. It shouldn't be just because you lost your temper and you're upset. You know what I mean? So if you know free time you should take away from them because that's going to be effective, then it should be that. It shouldn't be just because I'm angry, so I'm going to take it out on you or whatever the case. That's never effective. That actually builds resentment. So, for me, it's the same way. I got daddy's girls. If I just look at them, they'd be wanting to cry. So, it's just based on the kid. You couldn't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You talk. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool, cool, cool. She knew when I was young. I was 2 years old, walking on the back of the couch, fall off, hit my head, I'm bleeding. She turned her head, I was right back up there. Like it's just, I couldn't help myself.
Okay, so now my question to you is: if you were to get married, if you're not already married, how would you expect your new partner to discipline your children, or would they be able to? You can ask me come back.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning,
afternoon.
Daddy. Look at you. This
How
whole
you
question got
doing?
you in the box too. Okay.
Yeah. Shit. My mama, my man, they used to run team on my ass. My mama, my grandma, my uncle, they used to whip the hell out of me. I got beaten every fucking day. And then on top of that, I had to go work in the garden too. Cause my grandma had like fucking tomatoes, okra, uh collard greens and shit like that, but they used to tear my ass up.
Okay.
I remember one time I almost burnt the house down through my room. Whew, I still got them wellings on my ass. I still got them.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you feel like those that getting spanked, especially like within a group setting, like a village upbringing, do you think that formed you who you are
23.
as an adult now?
Just diesel. Hold up, man. Let me correct you. Those weren't spankings. That was abuse. That wasn't no spanking.
I'm not gonna accuse allegedly. I'm not gonna accuse anybody on this internet platform of abuse that
Hey,
was not convicted
I-
of that charge.
for real,
Allegedly.
they called it. Yeah, hey, that wasn't allegedly. I still got the wounds from that.
But it was just a very intense spanking, is all I'm gonna agree to.
Well, I'm gonna let you say spanking. That was an ass whooping for me.
Same,
Fuck
especially
that.
when I ran my mom called everybody. Give whoopings like
Hey,
Oprah, and you get some, you get some.
hey, that thing felt like slavery all over again, boy. I swear it was.
That actually brings me to something I want to talk about. So part of this topic came from the internet and somebody saying that black parent upbringing is kind of similar to slave training. After we clear the line, I'm gonna explain that more. What's up, Tyson?
It's three types of ass whoopings that you don't want to receive. And I got all three. My mama told me one day, go get in the tub. I said, I ain't stinking. Fuck you talking about? I'm getting in the tub, bro. Fuck wrong with you? Go get in the tub. I go get in the tub. She coming there with a switch. By 10 minutes later, while I'm sitting in this motherfucker, you hear me? Whap. Oh, hold on. CPS, where you at? Oh, no. I'm asleep. Woke me up out of my sleep with the motherfucker. Hit me head once, you feel me? Then I hate the speech whooping. I'm doing this because I love you. Then
Oh
go
my
shoot me across
God.
my motherfucking forehead. I got a whoop on my forehead, but you love me. Man, hell no, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't whoop my daughter unless she does something, you know what I'm saying, just really whooping wise. You feel me? But I don't think whoopings do anything. It just do something for the moment. Cause I still did what the fuck I want to do, whatever she told me not to do. So I don't whoop my daughter. Like my boy said, it's a look that I give my daughter. You feel me? And she gonna stop playing with me. Like she do what she want to do with her mama, her grandmama, her aunties. But when daddy say something, she know daddy ain't playing. So I feel like, with this, and can't nobody whoop my daughter. I'm sorry. Not no principal, not no teacher, not her mama, husband. Ain't nobody whooping my daughter but me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm active in my daughter's life. But if I wasn't, I don't have a say-so on shit. So if she's getting spanked by any other person, okay, that's cool. But I'm in her life, so we ain't going for this. I can't go like this.
Okay. So I did ask that question and I want to know this to the parents that have children already. If you are not already married, if you were to get married, how are you expecting your new co-parent to help as far as discipline?
So I'm gonna say one thing real quick to tack on to what he said. And I'm gonna answer your question. He left out a spanking. That spanking when every word that comes out their mouth is a pop. I told you. No, that was the worst whooping.
With me?
That was the worst whooping ever. Fucking every syllable that came out afterwards, I was like, God damn, let me alone. But if I have a bonus mom for my children, I would expect her to discipline them just as much as I would in the same respect. If we would have already had a conversation around it to ensure that, both of us are on the same page. It's not going to be you're going to do what you want, and then I'm going to find out afterwards. It's going to be, we've already communicated this effect of this is how you're going to be disciplined.
Okay, so because I said it kind of is like slavery. In psychology, it's called shaping by reinforcement and gradually training behavior. Interesting.
Yeah, and honestly, if you look at our generation, like that most of us are in within this room, most of us have childhood trauma that we never deal with. And a lot of that comes from a lot of those either spankings, which we're going to call those spanking because it was really ass whoopings. You do 38, definitely 38. You sleeping in your bed, you getting popped out of nowhere. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night one day, someone turn the lights on, you're going to start twitching. But
what? You probably jump out in your sleep right now, and you don't even realize that you've been jumping in your sleep every night since then.
Keeping one eye open.
My mom gave me paranoia. My mom gave me, so if y'all ever see me go somewhere and I'm always looking around the door before I walk in. One time I got a call home from school and I thought my mama wasn't gonna be at home. My mama had 3 jobs. So I'm like, I was acting up. I'm like, they said they gonna call my house. Call my house. I don't care. Ain't nobody gonna be there. I know ain't nobody at my house between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. My mama answered the phone. And she said, yeah, and I'm gonna see you when you get home. That was the slowest walk home that I ever took ever. I'm slinking through, and I thought it was cool because I ain't see my mama car. I ain't see my mama. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm straight. She done went to work on me. She might have been home in a little interlude. I went around the corner to go up the stairs. Bow! Out in the door. In the doorway. Yeah, you got your ass. What's up, Mr. Van Steel, about that question?
Even though, well, the question is, I mean, if my daughters are still young, I never let nobody put their hands on my daughters, nobody. So, if you're gonna stop them from hurting themselves or something like that, then that's something different. You know what I mean? But I don't let nobody put their hands on my daughters. Nobody. I don't. Even if my kid's mother, if she end up with somebody else, I told the last guy she dated, I said, if anything happened to my daughters, whatever happened to them is going to happen to you. So, but it became a problem because he started giving them ice cream and whatever they wanted. You know what I mean? Just because of the conversation we had with him, I just pretty much told him I'm a murderer. So, I don't have too much. I don't know if I have too much trauma from childhood. I got more trauma from going to combat and going to war than from when I grew up. For example, I earned all of mine.
Do you think the level of discipline you received as a child led you into the career, into that field, into going into combat or joining the military or armed forces?
No, I don't think so. I went there because I needed the discipline. Because coming from Southeast DC, I know what the streets will do to you.
So Toxic, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think the amount of discipline that you receive, the amount of physical discipline you receive, so Corporal, we're gonna call it what it is, the spankings that you receive, changed who you are or the direction of who you could have been as a person?
Okay, not really, because I'm a Capricorn and I'm stubborn. And I feel like I do what I want to do. I think what I want to think. I'm really my own person. So I feel like my mom just was taking anger out on me, on God. You feel me? But I ain't gonna sit here and say I was a good child, because I wasn't. So I knew I deserved some of them whooping. They just didn't help. Yeah, I fake cried to make it seem. Nah, I ain't fake crying. I'm gonna stop laughing. She turned my ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, them tears was real. I know.
Yeah. She took my ass up. So, I don't think so, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I still did what I wanted to do. I think I should have did some shit better. I should have listened to my mom more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I wouldn't have experienced some of the things that I experienced. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. And then I want to say what Professor said. I'm going to keep it real. If I, like, my better half, because you got some better half who's malicious, who would just beat your child for no reason. That person, once I find that out, that person will no longer even be in my life. You feel what I'm saying? Because we ain't doing that. And I've seen so many videos of motherfuckers mistreating other people, kids. Like, I'm really even, motherfuckers don't meet my daughter. You know how many bitches have been around me and I ain't seen a picture or nothing of my daughter, let alone they think I don't have a daughter because I ain't got no proof for them. Nah, we ain't doing it.
Okay, so my question for you, Toxic, if you want to get back in the line before the show is over, if your baby mama was to get married, how do you expect her significant other to discipline your children? Miss D, did you get whoopings as a kid? I feel like you were a good kid. I don't see you getting in trouble.
So I got paddles, and so spanking, no. Paddles, yes. And that was a big ass wooden panel, and it was wait till your dad gets home. And I would get to the point where I'd be like, well, just do it now, because I knew my mom's wasn't going to hurt as bad. So she would give it to me. But the funny part is I agree with Nikki 24/7. Like, sometimes the level of discipline for each child is different. Because my mom would put soap in my sister's mouth, and she'd be like, "Bite down and scrape your teeth on it." And my sister, it didn't faze her. No way. She would bite the goddamn bar and like chew on the soap. I'm like, child. So it's definitely a matter of deciding, what works better for the kids. But I can't say I was beat, but we were disciplined. And then to piggyback off of one of your other questions, I feel that I'd always wanted to be a lawyer, but I went into law enforcement instead, which to me, that was my calling. I really enjoyed it. I still miss it today. It was my favorite job in the world, but I was always a protector. Me and my sister weren't beat, but my mom was. So I feel like that kind of drove me to the direction of the occupation I originally went into.
Okay. Now,
And if I dated anybody who had kids, go ahead.
Yeah, if you were to marry someone that has children, would you be okay with disciplining their children physically if that's something that they were already doing?
The level of physicalness, like I said, for me growing up, I got the paddle, and I don't think anything wrong with that or spanking, because it's a matter of how much, and is it technically a beating, or is it just enough to get a message across? But I agree with, I think it was Professor who said,
Professor, next in line. That's crazy.
So I'm gonna tell you like this: if I was in a situation and my ex got married again, and I believe it was Man of Steel who said this. And I don't know if he's talking about the same scenario, but I'm gonna tell you like this: whatever you do to my child, I will do to you, and I will mean that wholeheartedly. You ain't gotta worry about me being a murderer, because you're never gonna see it coming. I promise you that. I'm gonna poison your food. I'm gonna do something. Listen.
Whoa!
I might got a small backyard, but guarantee you're gonna be 6 feet down. If you do something to my child, and my child comes to me and talking about you abuse them in any type of way, nah. She gonna be a ex-wife, and she gonna be a widow.
Dang. Talk about not being able to keep a man.
Listen, on my mama, I promise you, on everything that I love, I don't believe that another man should step in and start disciplining my child as long as I'm in their life, because they have me. They don't need them to do it. If I wasn't here, I would expect them, hey, you could step up and you need to do what you need to do if I wasn't there. But I'm there. I'm there all the time. If something happens, guess what? Guess who she calls first? As soon as something happens, she gonna call my phone and say, hey, talk to them. She don't need to call her significant other to call and say, hey, you need to talk to the children. No, call me. I'll talk to them. Okay. Because as long as I live, that's all I'm here for. It's for them.
Okay. So do you think that the level of respect that your children will have for that person will be diminished by you still being their only disciplinarian?
Man, they don't need respect. No, I'm saying.
They don't need to. Whoa, hey, some people feel like that though. The stepdaddy hate be real.
No, I mean, for me, like I said, if it's something that needs immediate action, you know what I'm saying? It can't be nothing physical, but if they see that, okay, this little boy talking to him and he need to grab her, be like, nah, come on, let's go. Let's get in the car. To remove her from talking to that, all right, fine. Let me know what happened, what's going on. Because if my daughters are not with me, I have to rely on that guy that's going to be around to protect them too. You know what I'm saying? You just can't put your hands on them. You know what I'm saying? But even my kid's mother, her last boyfriend, she didn't even tell me about it. My daughters did, because she was afraid what was going to happen. She said I wasn't ready yet. I'm like, well, I'm ready. So we're about to turn around. I'm coming back. So that's when I had to talk with him. But the slavery thing, I think, is real. Because I think it's conditioning, and I think it's just, part of, how each generation grew up before that. Because if you live in a certain environment, because I got whoopings by teachers and principals. So
that was actually one of the things I wanted to ask about. Thank you for rounding that out. So you
I
grew up
got
in the
it.
generation where your teachers could spank you. Do you think the state of education today would be better or worse if they were to re-implement teachers being able to discipline, do corporal punishment in the classroom?
I think it's a couple of things they need also. I think that won't be effective because some of these kids are just wild out. I think you need more male teachers because
Mm.
if you have more male teachers, see, I think that's why a lot of things happen with young boys too, because the only disciplinarian they see in their lives are women. So even taking direction from a guy, trying to mentor a young guy, this, that, or whatever, they buck back at women because they feel no consequences. They already bigger than their mother, their aunts, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? They don't have nobody to punch them in the face and be like, sit your bitch ass down somewhere.
Mm. So what about those videos
Hey,
of the
I
kids
fuck with him.
fighting the teachers?
I fuck. You heard what he said? Sit your bitch ass, and that's how Bernie Mae talks to them. Sit your weak ass down. You feel me? You gotta talk a little rough to these kids too. I'm God. I fuck with him. I'm God. Good. What you had age now, Rose? What you age me?
If your baby mama was to get married, how would you feel about her new significant other disciplining your child?
Shit, he married her and that pussy. The fuck? They ain't got
Well,
nothing to do
he
with my.
married her and everything that came out of her coochie as well, which includes your child.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm the type of nigga I don't even like getting in people's business, right? So my baby mama already know how I am. She know he can't whoop my daughter. Keep it gangster. She know that. So if he, you can't even holler at my daughter. I swear to God, one day she had a boyfriend when my daughter first was born, but she decided to go to the club and let him babysit her. The nigga made a Facebook post about my daughter talking about bitches want to be in the club all day. They need to come home and get their funk ass daughter and change this shit ass temper. So I had three red flags that go on because one, why you leave her with him?
Mm-hmm.
Two, who the fuck is you to say this about my baby on Facebook? And three, why she still got this shit at pimp on? So you know I was hot. I was hot.
38 hot.
Yeah. I was ain't gonna tell you how I did, but I was hot. You feel me? And I don't even like getting mad because I don't think. I just react. And that's probably one of my biggest flaws. I think that's what them whoopings, some more. I should have got some more of them whoopings because maybe it would have helped me with that. But yeah, nah, he can't get no. Nah, I'm the only one that do all discipline,
That's
all
okay.
discipline. My daughter's my twin. She even look like me. Can't nobody whoop her.
It got to be you.
Yeah. You know what's dangerous about that step daddy, step mommy shit? Is that it's too many people in the world today are narcissists. They'll beat your child because they're jealous of your relationship with your child.
Mm.
I know some step parents that they don't think they get enough attention. You giving too much to your child. I'm like, yo, that's a child, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what comes with that. That's why I don't play none of that. I twist your head off. Do not
Mm.
touch my. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't bring like I got one of my companies. I got a business partner that's a female for like the last 3 years. She don't even know what my daughters look like, and she just a business partner. You know what I'm saying? I don't take nobody around my daughters ever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really hard, especially if it's in a family full of men. Saying is if a girl that's raised around a family full of men are not safe.
Mm.
But you look at a lot of some of the guys today, they have no discipline, no sexual discipline, no nothing. And a lot of times you'll look at little girls, you see guys in their 50s and 60s on here trying to grab a girl that's 21.
Mm.
So I'm definitely not trusting a guy to be around my daughter on a consistent basis. No, no, no. I don't care who you are. My daughters don't sit on nobody's laps since they were little. None of that. They don't need to sit. It's a chair right there. They can sit in the chair. You know what I'm saying? It's so important time I let them stop sitting on my lap just so they can understand that you don't need to sit on no man's lap. You know what I'm saying? The only conflict can come in is if you have a kid's father or a kid's mother that can't see it from your perspective, and what you're trying to do is protect them and not prevent them from growing older.
Mm. Love
because I
that.
deal with that a lot too. Try to hide stuff from me because they think I'm trying to stop them from getting older. I'm like, no, I'm doing my job. I'm protecting them. It's a difference.
I like that a lot.
Oh, that's real. Like I don't care. My daughter not sitting on Santa's laps. You hear me? It's real. But
So can I ask you a question, Mr. Sushi Man?
oh yeah.
Did you get whoopings as a kid?
Did I get whooped at as a kid? Yeah, my mother would pull over to the side of the road if I gave her any type of lip, and she would get a switch. You know what a switch is?
I do.
She would smack the shit out of us.
Is anybody in here an extension cord
My
kid? Like if
grandma,
you got whooped with an extension cord, let me get a me in the comments real fast. If you were one
my,
of them people that got whooped with extension cord.
my grandma, my mom's mom, she would, my mom had to work, so she would be with us sometime, well, with me. And if I got a line with her, like there's times she smacked me on top. She hit me on top of the head with a cast iron pan. But we got strong head, we got hard heads. You know what I'm saying?
See, that sound like that other word we was talking about. Got the
Crazy.
hickory switch. Ooh, them thick.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
Mm.
you what do they say? Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Ooh.
You
Okay.
don't
So, do
can't
you
spoil
think
the
that
child.
shaped you? Those spankings that you received, do you think that shaped you into the adult that you are today?
Nah.
Okay. Have you ever been
Just,
incarcerated?
I never been convicted. So I was incarcerated for a short stint of period of time when they had charged me with crimes, but I was not convicted. And I was never sentenced to incarceration. No.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Um, how do you have you ever considered yourself a person that has issues with authority?
That's the thing. I was about to say it taught me about what authority to respect.
Mm.
Now I ain't respecting that authority, but
All right, y'all. If you just now popping in, welcome to Pretty Problem Podcast. I am your friendly neighborhood homegirl, Princess Tia. This is my debate style podcast, and where we discuss thought provoking topics in a debate style format. Today's topic has been corporal punishment. We coming kind of to the end, but I always do an after show. It's just gonna be a shorter box. So if y'all still want to have things y'all want to talk about or things y'all want to say, please feel free to get in line. What's up, brother?
Uh, I was finna pick up on what my boy said about the sitting in the lap.
Mm-hmm.
See, my daughter used to have a bag about like when she see me, I pick her up and she wrap her legs. She'll wrap her legs around whoever body it was. And when she was young, I wasn't gonna say nothing because her understanding level wasn't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
She's 4 now. And
Okay.
sometimes she still wraps her leg, but I be like, and I just tap her leg like that, move them legs, move them legs. Now how you stand up? How you a big girl? Like, no, you too big now, you know what I'm saying? I try to make it seem like, oh no, you outgrown this stage, instead of just trying to tell her that's wrong. But of course, once she gets a little older, I'm gonna let her know. Hey, you don't sit in laps, you know what I'm saying? So she's been breaking that. She don't sit in people lap. Guess what she'll say? Uh-uh. My daddy said don't sit in no laps, not even yours, Iya. She called my mama Iya. So she was like, I can't sit in your lap, Iya. And I just be smiling and I'll be walking back like, yeah, fuck you talking about. But I feel like it's different parenting, period, right? So we did get whoopings.
Mm-hmm.
It was for what the parent thought was right. I don't whoop my daughter like that because of the whoopings that I received. But I feel like communication rules the nation. So long as you communicate with your child, they're going to learn and pick up. These kids are smart nowadays. So
Mhm. I agree. Communication is definitely, the key because if you just whooping your child, they're not understanding why it just look like you're abusing them. And if you
Mm.
like them when you hate them, you know what I mean? And especially, I'm a firm believer in hard discipline for boys. And the reason I'm a firm believer in that is because he's going to be charged one day with protecting and providing for a family. He has to have certain callous because as men, the world kick us in the balls every day. Nobody cares.
Mm.
ill and you crying and nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a certain level of callous. Also, while trying to balance, how you can use these emotions and everything else that you have and deal with the testosterone that you're coming into. So for boys, you gotta train them hard because the world is not going to give sympathy to him. You know what I'm saying? So he has to be trained hard. He has to understand there's consequences to the things you do and say. Everything that you say and do is not justified by how you feel. Because my nephews, I try to teach them that just because you feel a certain way, your actions is not justified by that feeling. Because you're going to be disciplined somehow. Even when I told the young guys on tag, I'm like, yeah, a woman will be typically more in danger on a meetup, but don't act like you can't be set up. You know what I'm saying? So it gotta be you gotta be taught consequences because the world is too quick to try to give you consequences, especially if you're a black boy. You know what I'm saying? So he gotta have a concept of it's gonna be consequences to my actions. And this one little thing that I do because I feel a certain way about something could cause me my life or someone else's. So I need to make sure that I got my shit together because I'm
Okay, now
not.
this is my last question for everybody because we approaching the last couple minutes and they're gonna make me wrap up before we do the after show. And I said they because I'm talking about Shani and Goya. Shout out to my production team, my executive producer, Big Shani, and my other executive producer, Goya Greens in the back. They always making sure I stay on track. Thank y'all very much. My last question for everybody. Do you think that how we view spankings is based off of our culture or our experience?
Both. I think it's definitely a mixture. Like you can't have one without the other. I mean, I've had my experience with being punished, for sure. Like, and I see how spanking has curbed behaviors, and corporal punishment, we'll call it, has curbed behaviors that I have in a moment, and there's a longevity effect of it. But I think as a culture, I think that both the aspect of whipping and even slavery has an impact on us ultimately because a lot of us are, you know, in our mind we are trapped because of that. I think we are so stuck on that is the best way to discipline a child is just to beat them because we were or someone else that we saw was or our family treated us that way and that's why we are stuck on that aspect.
Do you think that beating your child, I'm sorry, because we keep saying beating, and I don't agree with beatings. I don't believe that you should beat, that if your child leaves that encounter physically scarred or bleeding, it's gone too far. But do you believe that spankings are one of the generational curses that has been passed down in our culture? Or is it a good thing?
I think it's a good thing. I think there is a response to a correction. I think just talking to a child sometimes they can't comprehend because in their emotional state, all we do is talk to them. It's going to go in one ear out the other sometimes. But that spanking changes them and curves that behavior in that moment.
This line been like the DMV. I keep having the same people. It's the same people in the line.
Oh shit, my okay. I'm saying my
No,
fault.
go
I'm
ahead,
arguing.
brother.
Boom. I'm gonna say both, right? Because the culture of the culture really for the black folks is Big Mama. What did Big Mama show us? What did Big Mama teach us? How was Big Mama? So people went off on what Big Mama. Big Mama slapped the shit out you. If she talking with grown folks and y'all ass coming up, Big Mama. Wow. She ain't even gonna say, "Do you see me talking?" You on Big Mama on the phone. You trying to talk? Wow. You getting hit. You feel me? So the black people, us, yeah, we keep the whoopings because of Big Mama. That's right.
Mm.
Um, also experienced because everybody I know for a fact, if you got whoopings, it's one whooping that you got that's still fresh on your mind. Like that whole happened yesterday. Fuck you talking about. Yeah,
I
that
got a whooping
motherfucker
I didn't
fresh.
deserve. And that will always stay with me for the rest of my life. And I feel like that's why my mama stopped whooping me because I got a whooping I didn't deserve. Listen, I had a teacher. I had this teacher that hated my guts. And my parents were those type of people that if an adult says something happened, they're gonna go with the
They gonna
adult first,
believe it.
right?
Yep, yep.
Because they always say children lie. So I had a teacher that hated my guts, and I had caught her saying something racist, and I had told another teacher. So she was trying to get me back because I had got her in trouble. She told my mom, we had a parent teacher conference. She told my mom that I was cussing in the class, I'd be sleep, I all my assignments be late. Like told mama all this stuff. And mama whooped my ass in the room with her in front of the lady. Like whooped my, and I'm like, Ma, she is lying. I got an extra whooping because I said lie. Because lie in our
Oh
family was
yeah,
a
you
cuss
couldn't
word.
say lie. Yeah, you couldn't say lie
Yeah, I
back
got
in
an
the day.
extra
Oh
whooping for
God,
saying lying. Cause
you
you
gotta
can't
tell a
you can't say a
story.
grown person
Telling
is
a
lying. We
story
had to say
on
telling stories.
me.
Telling
Yeah, tell a
stories.
story on me.
And it
Yeah,
stuck with
yeah.
me. And I every time I did, if I did anything after that, mama, like you got once she found out the lady was lying, she said I had one on the shelf. So that means I could get away with doing one thing that I should get my ass whooped for, and I'm not gonna get my ass whooped for because I already got that ass whooping in advance. It was an advance payment on the ass whooping. And that was the worst shit that ever happened to me ever.
I think it's both. You know, I think it becomes abuse when you do it and you're looking for change behavior that benefits you and not the child.
Mm.
See, sometimes you'll do it because you're getting tired of talking to them. Well, maybe this is not effective, this is not working, try something different. But because you're angry, you're outlashing on the child, but it's not change behavior for the child's benefit and for them to be benefit long term. It's so you can just stop having a headache. It's so you can stop getting a call from the teacher. And it's so weird because it won't have effective results, but you'll keep doing it. That's an indication that you're doing it out of anger. So
Mm.
I always look and say, what's going to be the most effective? You know what I mean? Because, I tell my sister, I said, don't just love my nephews, you got to raise them
Mm.
because you're just loving them right now. So their father is the disciplinarian, her husband, and I constantly talk to him, hey man, don't just love your sons. I know these your boys, you got to raise them. You know what I'm saying? You got to raise them. So I think it's actually experience and there's everything else that comes with it. Because again, I think, we're so hell bent on certain traditions that we refuse to change them. You know what I'm saying? Even if it don't produce effective results. I think we're just so used to it. And I earned all mine. I would do stuff like my mother walked the trash out to the curb. And when she come back in, I didn't put ketchup all over me and laid in the middle of the floor like I cut myself. Stuff like that to prank my mother, you know. And she just put a pile of blood next to the next to the ketchup. I had to whoop my ass. So, I earned all mine.
Now you really bleeding. What you on?
Hey,
Hey. And
happy
see, you our last
Sunday.
box before I got to do my wrap up.
Right, right. I got in here quick, boy. I'm the last one. All right, so I would say, y'all, listen, I grew up in an era where the teachers could beat you, other people, parents could beat you, and I got beat by everybody. Okay. I don't think there was ever a time I wasn't getting beat. Okay. Like all my life I had to fight. So so for me, I feel like I don't know, I growing up around, in Barbados and stuff like that, that's a different type of, the teachers could beat you in front of the students. Like they would have rulers and little bamboo sticks and stuff like that. And they'll tape up the bamboo sticks. So it's a little different. When I hear like gentle parenting and stuff like that, that's why I can't really tolerate seeing kids being disrespectful because I just never seen it before. Like I didn't even know that was a possibility till I came to America. That there
Mm,
was different type of parenting. I thought they did was beat kids. Like
mm.
so it's a little different for me when I came up here and I saw people talking back and having opinions and trying to talk it out with their kids. So I don't know.
And do you think that the level of discipline that you received shaped you into the adult that you are today?
Hell yeah. I've experienced embarrassment. I've been beaten by in front of my friends, in front of the class. I know that emotion and how it feels. Yeah, I feel like it, I don't know. It might have made me real strong. It's probably why, it takes a lot for me to like be in pain like that.
Mm.
I got so much tattoos.
Alexa, play Pretty Problem playlist.
I can't find the playlist Pretty Prom on Apple Music.
Alexa, play Pretty Problem playlist.
Pretty Problem playlist from Apple Music.
Alexa, volume 6, please.
Resource music.
Okay, everybody, if you tuned in today, thank you so much for being a part of Pretty Problem Podcast. This is my debate style podcast where we discuss thought provoking topics in a debate style format. Today's topic was corporal punishment. We talked about how that shaped us as adults and the impact on us as a people and how we view it today. I want to thank everybody so much for your input. I appreciate each and every single person that got in the box and shared their experiences with us. Each episode is recorded and posted on the Pretty Problem YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the Pretty Problem Podcast YouTube page so you can see yourself again and hear these opinions. Each week we have a different topic. So if you enjoyed yourself and you want to come back, we'll definitely have something new to talk about next week. If you have any suggestions on debates you want to have, please feel free to send those to me on Instagram. We want to thank everybody so much. If you shared the flyer, if you popped in, if you shared your opinion, if you gifted during the stream, we appreciate each and every contribution that you guys do. The support does not go unnoticed. Thank you everybody so much. And this again, if you didn't know, was Pretty Problem Podcast with your funny neighborhood homegirl, Princess Tia. Don't taste me. Oh, by the way, y'all, I'm still giving out dragons. It's 6 spots left on this dragon wheel. So you know what I'm saying? If y'all trying to win you a dragon, make sure y'all get them AK entries in. We giving away dragons around this place, okay? And it's a cash out. It's not just a regular dragon, okay? You can get 80K or more. Our last winner got a golden dragon. I know, and some of y'all, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all ain't saying. I got you, brother. I gotta get the other soul. Oh yeah, y'all make sure y'all pop in Family Affairs at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna be in the box. Y'all might see me post, you know what I'm saying, with a little video or something, give my little opinion or something, you know. Also, y'all make sure if y'all got a little bit of time, y'all pop into all of our shows. Every Sunday morning, we got Slang With Me with Top Badge Coco Melon at 11 a.m. Also, I am going to be on this week, actually, on Tuesday night. My ring light said nah. Okay. Boom. On Tuesday night, Top Bad Shocker Energy, Aquarian Soul, and Rello Lit, I believe, is the last contestant, will be competing on Coco's Lyric Master. So if you think you know music trivia and you can finish the lyrics of some of the most popular songs that happened in the last 20 years, make sure y'all pop over there and see who gonna win that challenge. And sign up to be on the show. I had a great time. I'm actually gonna be on an episode coming up real soon at the end of the month. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all slide through, get on Coco's Lyric Master, our future feature show, and go have y'all a good time, okay? Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna put this back up. It's only